Two biggest college football games this Saturday, November the 30th. Final day of the month. We have two head-to-head top 25 matchups. I'm going to give you a bonus third game as well. Three biggest games for this Saturday, college football. My analysis, my projections coming up free for you here in just a moment. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And yes, the two head-to-head top 25 matchups both go this Saturday in college football. We're going to break those down for you right now. I'm also going to give you a bonus third game. Let's start with the first game this Saturday, and you don't have to wait long. It's an early game at 12 noon Eastern on ESPN. Number 15, South Carolina at number 12, Clemson. And I broke this game down earlier this week on Wager Talk today, and I mentioned that I was still running my simulations. I'd come back and let you know my projection for this game. And it does have Clemson winning by 5.5 points on average. So, yes, current line of -2.5 would favor Clemson as far as the line value. But I have some concerns. First of all, Clemson does have some O-line injuries, and they'll be going against a very stout South Carolina defense. So my simulation, once again, projects Clemson by 5.5. Current line is just 2.5, so there is some line value with Clemson. But I think the better play, as I told you earlier this week on Wager Talk today, is the under 49 in this game. Once again, and the offensive line injuries make me like the under even more. Clemson is a solid offensive team this year, but when they've stepped up in class, their offense has come back down to earth a bit. And when you factor in opponents played and strength of schedule, you realize that Clemson is averaging 6.5 yards per play against teams that allow 6.0. South Carolina on the season giving up just 4.6 yards per play. This is one of the more underrated defenses in the nation. Gamecocks allowing just 18 points a game, just 2.9 yards per rush. And even the 6.5 yards per pass allowed has come against a schedule that averages 7.6. Clemson, meanwhile, throws for 7.3 against defenses that allow 7.5. Clemson's strength has actually been the rushing attack, and they're now taking on one of the better run defenses in the nation. So while my simulation does show some line value on Clemson, I think the better play in this game is under 49, a low-scoring game between two good defensive teams that both hold the edge over the opposing offenses. That's at 12 noon Eastern on ESPN. The other top 20 matchup this week is also the top 25 rather, is a top 20 matchup, and that's number 3 Texas at number 20 Texas A&M. First time these teams have met since 2011. This was a huge rivalry. In fact, they played consistently from 1915 all the way through 2011, and then A&M left for the SEC. Well, now Texas is in the Southeast Conference, and they're playing again. In fact, the resale ticket market heading into the weekend, cheapest ticket I saw was over $570. This might be the most high-priced football game of the entire college season, and for good reason. Playoff implications, SEC championship implications on the line here, especially for the Longhorns, who had that loss to Georgia earlier this year, but they've looked pretty good otherwise. First, let's look at my simulation. On average, I've got Texas, the Longhorns, winning this game outright by 5 points. As we check the current line at the Wager Talk live odds screen, you'll see it's 5, mostly 5.5. So this line is pretty much spot on. But I'd be willing to give up a little bit of line value, even the strong home field, because I think Texas is just the better overall team. And you look at this matchup here, Texas is great on both edge sides of the ball. Texas A&M is a formidable opponent. But when you break it down further, A&M just hasn't quite been as explosive offensively, and they're definitely not as good defensively. In fact, if you look at conference games only, Texas A&M has given up 5.7 yards per play in conference games. Texas is allowing just 4.1. They've allowed just 4.0 in the season. Keep in mind that Georgia loss wasn't pretty, but they had 4 turnovers, including some early turnovers, which really made the first half ugly. But they've been spot on otherwise. Offense has come back down to earth a bit in recent weeks, but the defense remains stout, and there's been no drop-off in conference play. In a high-profile game, I'd rather have the better defensive team, and that's the Texas Longhorns. So although this one is pretty much on my power ratings, won't be on the best card most likely, I would lean towards Texas at the -5, 5.5. Just feel like they're the more solid college football team in this game. All right, those are your two true top 25 matchups for here week 14 this Saturday, November the 30th. Going to go with a bonus game for you. This one's just a bit outside for making the cut, and that is number 6 Miami of Florida against unranked Syracuse. But if you look at the AP poll, you'll see that Syracuse is 28th. They're 3rd in additional votes and 4th in additional votes in the coaches poll. So 28th/29 in the other two polls this week. Syracuse pulls the upset here as an 11-point dog. Could they possibly crack the playoff top 25? Well, I don't think that's going to happen, and they're not going to win the game, first of all. Miami of Florida should dominate the line of scrimmage. Let's look at my simulation. I project an 11-point win by Miami of Florida, and that's exactly the point spread. So there's not any line value in this game. But once again, if you're going to play it, I would rather have Miami of Florida here. They have a substantial edge on the line of scrimmage. They're averaging over 5.5 yards per carry this year. And this Syracuse offense cannot run the ball at all. In fact, they're averaging just 3 yards per rush, just 2.8 yards per rush in ACC games, just 81 yards per game so far. In conference play, Miami's averaging 171 rushing yards. And then on top of that, Syracuse has really struggled to stop the run. In conference games, 5.3 yards per rush overall this year, 5.2 yards per rush allowed. And it looks like it's been even worse here in recent weeks as they are really wearing down. Over their last 4 games, they've given up 249, 313, 166, and 124 in rushing yards. I think Miami can control the line of scrimmage here. Now, I'm not in a hurry to lay 11 points up in the Carrier Dome. This is always a tough road game for opposing teams, and Miami of Florida over the years has had trouble up here at times. So you might want to look at the total instead. And we saw the opening total at 67.5 get bet down a little bit this week to 67. I would agree with that move. This looks like a really big number considering the fact that Miami of Florida is a good defensive team. In fact, Miami of Florida's defense this year is giving up just 22 points a game, just 5 yards per play. So I do think it could be a lower scoring game than expected. A little bit of a hedge there. Miami of Florida minus 11, under 67. I think at worst you probably split out and go 1-1. If it is a high scoring game, that's probably because Miami of Florida has run away with it. But once again, huge mismatch on the line of scrimmage as far as rushing yards. Syracuse does have some backdoor cover potential and some late over cover potential with that passing attack because all they do is throw the ball. But they're still a very mediocre passing team, averaging 7.5 yards per pass against teams that allow 7.1. Miami's given up just 6.2 this year. So like the Hurricanes, minus 11 and under 67. Once again, probably not strong enough to make the best bet card because it's right on the numbers. But I wanted to give you that additional bonus game since we only had 2 top 25 matchups here in Week 14. All right, those are the 3 biggest games this Saturday, November the 30th. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read the comments. I reply back. What sides totals do you agree with or disagree with? What other games are you looking at this Saturday in college football? Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. And once again, if you do want my official best bets, the games that I am personally using this Saturday in college football, this Sunday in the NFL, every day in college and pro basketball, then I highly recommend getting my best bet service at WagerTalk.com. And this is a great week to try the 7-day sampler because it's just $69. Normally it's $99, but for Thanksgiving this week, we did a $69 special. No promo code needed. That's not just football, but it's basketball as well. Every college and pro football and basketball play every day for the next 7 days and nights. $69, that's obviously less than $10 a day, but it's also only about $2.50 per sport each day for the next week. It's a great way to try out my service and get my personal best bets. Of course, if you're ready to take a long-term investment approach, don't forget about the 1-year special with promo code SM365. Gets it down to just over $1 a play, an instant $811 discount on the 1-year all-access pass. Over the last 365 days, my clients have won over 170 net units of profit. Why not get on board now and make some money over the next 365 days as well? Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Check it out. Get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM. Don't forget to also post a bonus free play. I'm very selective, 1 to 3 best bets per day on average, which means these bonus free plays that I put on my page every day are the last cut games that are close to making my best bet card. Check out a free play each and every day on my page in either football or basketball right now. You can also see the previous 20 best bets recapped every day. Win or lose, I show you the previous night's best bets. I don't hide anything. Why would I? I've won consistently for 29 straight years. I want you to see the results. I want you to follow along. Look, if you think you're going to win every play or every day, don't waste my time, right? 57 to 60% win percentage over 600-700 plays will make you a tremendous amount of money. And that's what we have done over this past year. But we're not going to win every play or every day. That's why the best bets are recapped. I want you to see the ebb and flow. Click on any of them. Read the analysis afterwards. Get a feel for how I handicap. And when you're ready to jump on board, use one of those special offers, either the 1 week or the 1 year. No matter which package you choose, you get the same best bets I'm personally using every day. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker. Shortcut WT.buzz/SM. Don't forget, comment below. I do truly read the comments. Let me know how your Thanksgiving went and how this weekend is going for you. Also, what games you like in college football. Thumbs up like. Smash that thumbs up like button. It takes 1 second to do, but it really goes a great way to keeping all these great videos plentiful here on WagerTalk TV. The more thumbs up likes, the more comments, the more free play videos I do each and every day. Also, subscribe and click the bell so you never miss an alert when these games go up, when these free play videos go up, and also my NFL Fade the Public videos ready for this weekend. Subscribe and click that bell. And follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merril. 2 R's, 1 L. At Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to WagerTalk TV. There's plenty more free play videos coming up next.